I uh I hate to say this, but we're actually at episode 10 now of just doing the wiring bits. So quite a bit more than I was expecting starting off. And the lighting is just weird. Whatever. Alright. Alright. Anyway, hopefully this will be the last one. So let's see. Find by session ID. It seems to me like we're pretty much done. Um, Q implicitly has any type SR exist. Yeah, what? I don't care. This too. All right, let's actually run it and see. Let's run build to just detect any issues with TypeScript. So the way we're gonna handle the OAuth bits is, um, do you end up using actions? Yeah, that's fine. What's the issue here? Footer route fetch mutation. Mm, I'm not really sure if the stream is working. So let me just check. Yeah, it is. Oh, I did part 9 twice? Why is it up? Looks like there's so many part 9s. Alright, so part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, what else? Anyway, looks like the problems are actually inside the Twitter route, which is fine by me because this is something temporary. We're going to be getting rid of this. The only reason we still have it here is because um, I see you just comment out that whole section. All right, let's see if that's any better. These are different. Hmm. Same session ID? Wait, what? Oh, that's weird. Why would you have two entries for the same session ID? That's pretty weird. Yeah. Looks like it's okay, but pre-rendering not found didn't work. Use local storage as a client-only hook. Okay. I think we're gonna have to switch microphones. My AirPods are low on battery. All right. Let's see if this is any better. I'm gonna try and bring the microphone close so we don't have the same audio trouble that we had earlier. Although I can't be sure that's not gonna happen again. Anyway. Okay, so we commented all that stuff out, and we still have some pre-rendering issues. It's trying to pre-render some of the pages here. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that, actually. How do I prevent this page getting pre-rendered in Next.js? By not using any of Next.js data fetching methods for pre-rendering, the page will not be pre-rendered at build time or on each request. Instead, the page will be rendered entirely on the client side. Interesting. I'm not really sure what to do about that. I mean, if the build is broken, using Edge runtime on a page currently disables static generation for that page. Edge runtime. Okay, so maybe we should just use the Edge runtime. And I'm sure that's probably going to introduce other issues. Probably. Man, the lighting is it's pretty bad, huh? Kind of feel like maybe just find something a bit less horrible. Something like this, I guess. That just looks weird. Wait, that's just what the doctor ordered. Less contrast. Use local storage is a client-only hook. Okay, let's just try and debug this. None of this stuff should actually prevent us from calling npm run dev, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that's running. So now the cool part is, okay, so first off, when you create user, so the users, you should first check to see if there's already an entry for this particular session ID before you create the session. So basically what we would do is pass check if a session already exists. But I feel like we've already done that, right? And then we do, if a user exists, you would update. Where did we do that? You know, the patch. Yeah, patch. Where do we use patch? Set bookmarks. Yeah, here it is. Create session for Twitter user. Yeah, okay. So we're already doing this. It's just we're doing it outside of the scope of the user's action itself, which, yeah, I mean, I can understand why. That makes sense. Plus, we're not even using actions anymore, right? Yeah, yeah, cool. So let's just make sure this makes sense. So create session for Twitter user. You're gonna get the token, and then you'll fetch the user details. Find my user from Twitter, and then see if the user already exists, and you do a search by the session ID itself. If a user does in fact exist, then you will mutate. You will wait. If a user exists, no, it's the opposite, right? So if you don't have a user, you'll create the new user. Otherwise, you'll update the existing user. That makes more sense. Cool. All right. So what I'm gonna do is delete. Well, I don't know if I should delete, right? Um, you have categories belonging to that particular user. You have user ID, and so I think you should just delete one of them. So I'll just delete this one then. Right. Okay. Cool. So now we can go to localhost 3000, and with any luck, it should use the existing token. That actually it doesn't even need a token, right? Let's see if the auth stuff actually works. Use local storage as client only. I don't know why it does this. Man. Okay, so it's working, right? Um, looks like it's working. We don't have smooth scrolling for some reason. So scroll behavior is smooth. I guess, I mean, we have it on the body, but we don't have it on, what is this element called? Scroll behavior is smooth. Maybe we can do it in the page itself, where you have the desktop wrapper. Yeah, it's this one. Let's see. Smooth. Scroll smooth, yeah. It doesn't seem to be making much of a difference. Use local storage as a client-only hook. Now, I don't know why this is such a big issue. Session provider. Okay. Like, session provider needs to be client-only? That's what it's sounding like. You probably need to make this client-only. There's actually, like, a client-only component. Um, yeah, that's exactly right. How do you accept? Why can't I accept it? Oh, man. This is weird. Why can't I? Alright, accept. That was weird. Like, why would you? They're making changes to the cursor IDE that are making it difficult to understand what the hell's going on. Anyway, use local storage. So, where is use local storage? I guess we would just go to the provider, session provider. Oh, it's called session. and then you would just call this client only. And just make sure that you're importing from at app components client only. Yeah, okay. Let's see if that helps. Let's see if that helps reduce the error messages we're getting. No, still getting it. Use local storage is a client-only hook at session provider. Yeah. Anyway, it looks like it is in fact working, but the ultimate test would be to see if it actually works for uh, for another account. Or maybe what we could do is just empty, like delete all, clear the table, do the same for categories, clear table, do the same for bookmarks, just clear the table, and then clear the application storage, clear everything. So that session just got cleared, and then refresh localhost 3000. Nothing's gonna work. We're gonna get a bunch of errors, presumably. User not found. And that's a server error. Huh. Well, you do throw... I mean, in some places we return this, in others we throw. So I'm not sure if it makes any difference. Let's see. Error user not found. That's in sessions. Oh, okay. Yeah, sessions get user. That's right here. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not sure why the checkpoint, the is it called a checkpoint? Oh, getting a couple of errors. Property ID does not exist on type. What? Yeah, I suspect property ID does not exist on type error string. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so it gives you these weird errors. It's probably better if you, instead of returning some weird error, you would just throw and then have it handle it somewhere else. I mean, specifically from where are you getting these errors? Um, okay, so it seems like it's okay now. But let's give it a refresh and see if we get the same error. Hmm. So it's failing a API on page. So when you call use query api.categories.get. Okay. So inside page, you could probably use query. So you could probably catch that and then catch that error and then figure out like what's actually going on, right? Um, but I don't think you can do like a try catch. I don't think you can do that. That's not gonna work anymore. So how do you handle this? I don't know. Maybe there's something in the error handling. A create user mutation could return to express that this ensures you remember to handle these cases in your UI. To throw from a deeply nested function call instead of manually propagating error results. Okay. Convex provides an error subclass, convex error. Okay, so convex error. So maybe we can use that. And this is inside create category. I don't know if create category. If you necessarily need to do this. So you're calling context.run query find by session ID, and so maybe find by session ID. Depending on where you're using it. Well, no, you wouldn't want to throw unnecessarily. Yeah, I think this is okay. Like, this is probably a good way to handle it. So, user found. No user. I think it was in sessions. Yeah. Okay. So, let's see if that. And then how do you handle. Oh, okay. Const handle something as async, and then you do the await. But this wouldn't really work if you're using the hooks, right? Yeah, user not found for this session. Convex error. Called my client. And so coming back to page, how do I handle Really? How would you know that from the convex library? Do I have the convex library anywhere? Alright, let's add it again. See if the convex library actually has details here. React error boundary component. Oh, you wrap the whole error. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, definitely one way to do it. So I'll go ahead and create the error boundary. Or maybe just make this JSX. Okay. I mean, this is like a general error boundary. I guess what you could do is also create your own custom one just for this. And so we'll wrap okay. And then so inside error boundary, you would decide like what you want to show. Oopsie daisy. Doesn't seem to actually do anything. Log error to my service, which doesn't actually do anything, so what else? Why wouldn't it work though? Yeah, that makes sense. Where do you actually do the use query call? Where do you have the use query call? I didn't even put it. Oh, are you serious? You didn't even put it in the right spot. Yeah, it's supposed to be there, not in the provider call. Oops. Yeah, my bad. Let's see if that does it. No. I guess it needs to be in the component above this. So you have like a server component, and then you would have a client component, and the client component would wrap the server component. Yeah, I'm not sure. The thing is, like, I imagine, so if something goes wrong inside page, which is the actual function that you're exporting, that's just not going to do anything, right? But if you do it inside, like here, for instance, maybe, right? Like this will definitely work, right? Is it a client, babe? Or a boundary? Error.js file convention allows you to gracefully handle unexpected runtime errors in nested routes. Nice. So you simply have to create an error route. That already exists? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's right here. I already had that. That was weird. Okay. And then you have something went wrong. Yeah, okay. Like you didn't need the error boundary? Weird. Okay, cool. Even better, right? So error, you could just have you don't need to do anything. You would just modify your error file. And then you say 2XL, text 2XL. I don't think you'd want to do that. What you would want to do instead is so you could make it so it points to I think it's API then Twitter. Log in with Twitter. Okay, let's see what happens. Now I'm just going to see this through. So it hits OAuth, and in this particular state, I assume what's going to happen is it creates the user entry. Perfect. And next up, you need to sync bookmarks. So this is perfect. Like the login process actually worked. And then like once you're done with this, you can just do .then, you know, or the return value, whatever it is, success. if result otherwise you set success true, and then if success is true. Okay. So then you can just do set timeout and then redirect to the app itself. Yeah, I mean now you would have used the token up, so it's messed up. But what I want to do is you got a 500 storage error. So I suppose the token got messed up. Okay, it got stored and then it got redirected to the bookmark manager, and then you don't have any bookmarks, so it's not really doing anything. So this is cool. This is great. Auth is, I mean, it appears to be working. I mean, it's a bit finicky. Working is a bit of a stretch. But yeah, it's redirecting, and then on the page, what we need to do now is we need to, maybe inside actions, trigger some sort of flow where we start retrieving bookmarks, start retrieving the bookmarks, and then start categorizing the tweets. And all of these things need to happen, and ideally, like the UI will actually get updated automatically. It's not like you need to do anything on the front end side. We just get that for free because we're using convex here. The only question is like how are you going to trigger the retrieval of bookmarks, generating categories, and everything else? I'm thinking like maybe we could have separate functions for those. Like I said earlier, we already have a Twitter route which shows us what calls we need to be making. So yeah, I mean, we could literally just copy paste all this stuff, move it into some sort of action, and you've got you've already got everything taken care of. So we don't care about this. Authentication is already taken care of. User we don't care about. Fetch bookmarks. We're just gonna call fetch bookmarks. Okay, so async function fetch bookmarks, and we already have auth. fetch bookmark tweets. You pass in the auth object, which you don't have anymore, but we could just use the same, like recycle the same auth object. In fact, I don't think you need to have like separate calls for that. Like just call await fetch bookmark, and then you just save it to the database. So bulk insert, pass in the session ID, which we would have received. Do we have the session ID here? Oh yeah, we do. So just add session ID. And then bookmarks, which is just gonna be tweets. Expected type comes from property bookmarks. Oh, bulk insert, what's going on there? So you receive bookmarks, mutation with session, right? Oh, we're probably missing a field. User ID? Oh, okay. You have user ID in there, which is superfluous. Okay, so we're able to trigger the bookmark retrieval. This is going to take a while. Like, fetching bookmarks is actually going to take a while. And I think what you could do is, once you're... Ideally, this would happen in the background, and we would show the user the main screen so they can start seeing all of the tweets get populated. And so that, that way it's obvious like something is actually happening, instead of staring at, just a screen that says whatever, like, please wait. So how would you do that? How would you do that? I'm trying to figure this out. Without having to create like a separate screen. How would you do that? So one obvious thing that we could do is update our schema for users to keep track of where they are. Like, have we already fetched the bookmarks for this user? Yes or no? Have we already categorized the bookmarks? Yes or no? And based on like these flags, we decide whether to run these like background processes or not. Alternatively, like you could create some sort of action which triggers all of these things in the background, and then you don't even wait for the action to finish. Like, you would just redirect the user to the main page, and then they can see the results of this action executing. That actually sounds like a good idea to me. So you trigger all of these things, and at the same time, trigger, and then at the same time you do all these. It sounds like an API request, right? You trigger an API request to execute all of these things, like, generate the categories, start categorizing the tweets and everything, and then you would then redirect the user to to the main page. Yeah, I mean, it literally sounds like an API request. So instead of doing all this stuff, we would just make an API request to the server to start fetching, generating, categorizing, and immediately redirect to the cool. All right, I'm gonna wrap it here. Gotta go use the washroom. Anyway, so we're actually done with auth. By the looks of it, we got a pretty functional solution. I'm pretty happy with it, and we'll do more extensive testing with other accounts next. But for now, I think it's safe for us to check it off the list and finally bring this crazy series to an end. One thing I forgot to include is integrate Stripe for payments. So that's going to be a bit of a chunky one. I don't think it's going to take too long. Famous last words. Yeah, maybe not too long. But that should allow us to sort of, get through the final stage, which is, actually accepting payments. And yeah, cool. Maybe we can sort out this stupid used local storage issue as well at some point. Anyway, adios, folks. I'll see you in the next one. Free Palestine.